notification when you hit go live on YouTube, even before the stream is actually live. Okay.
Oh.
So now we should be good, and we will fly through. We don't even really need to talk about what we just talked about. We'll circle back to it.
No, yeah, we can start with Xfinity if you want. Just get to that.
I think we have gotten past the technical difficulties. Let me verify. Yes, we are live, and we do have audio, so we are good to go. We can talk about Xfinity. Dude, I got home today, and I literally, I was thinking about the podcast, and it took me probably 10 minutes to remember where we raced at on Monday. I was kind of scared. I mean, I'm not even old. I don't know why it took that long, but
No. Hang on a second. I'm trying to remember. Hang on. Was it Martinsville? No,
see?
That was the week before, was it?
That's the same thought I had. It is
Are
not
you talking about the Michigan race?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you even participated in that one.
No,
I did.
I didn't.
Well, no, Sean did.
Oh, Sean did,
right.
yeah. It's like, I knew it was Michigan.
Yeah.
I gotta eat some greens.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I had never a dull moment with y'all. Yeah, so how'd y'all feel about Michigan?
It was fun. I knew it would be. It's crazy. Like, I did a couple laps in practice, like before the actual session opened. Literally like 5 laps by myself, and then when the session opened, I just I went full push, and it's crazy to me. I don't know if any of you guys feel this way, but like, I can be in a practice and like push 100% and not be able to complete a lap. But like when the green flag drops and it's race time, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's like a mental thing, but like I can just kind of like zone in and like make good race pace without wrecking. Like, it's just weird. It's like a weird switch. But dude, it was fun. I think I said it in the interview. I was doing more of this than this when I'm supposed to be doing a lot of this. But it was fun. It was slick. It was fun to pass. Like, setting up a pass was fun. I know after the couple green flag pit stops that we had, passing was fun. I enjoyed it. The draft was still pretty hefty in the Xfinity car, so no complaints on my end. I wish I wouldn't have gave it to Will on the last lap, but other than that,
it is a different beast than trucks for any of you truck guys wanting to move up next season. I'll tell you that. But it was nice getting in there, getting some learning in on it. I had nothing to lose, so I didn't even take tires that first stage. Saved them just in case, and I think I got 9th, but I was gaining on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and I think 3 or 4 more laps I could have caught them. So whatever, I'll take 9th and some learning experience on the Xfinities. So
I will say
I don't know if I'm looking for.
I was just gonna say you did really well because you haven't really raced Xfinity with us, like maybe one race, right? If that.
No, none, and I haven't only been in an Xfinity car like twice in my existence. So
yeah, and that was a
Like,
hell
you
of a
raced
track.
at Dover.
On trucks, I didn't do Xfinity. That was Trucks A.
Yeah, he raced.
Oh, Trucks A. That's right. I just remember it being a different night.
Yeah. No. Cups, I'm decent at. I did a whole 2 season in Cups before.
Let's not get carried away.
But Xfinity though.
Yeah, that was a hell of a race for you to make a debut at. It was, because like I know even like everybody had to wheel it. Like even Millet commented on it. Like Kern commented. Like, you picked one hell of a track to come back to, and you did really well. Like, I don't want to say I was surprised because I feel like that's like kind of a douchey thing to say, but I mean, of all the tracks you could have started at, like you did well.
I thought it was going to be one of the easier ones, and I was like, all right, good, this would be a good one to jump into, but it was not. Yeah, you have to definitely manage that throttle in your wheel a lot more than you do in trucks.
Sean, at least you showed up. I slept through it.
Yeah,
well,
this guy
debut as well.
Yeah, this guy.
I was wondering where he was. So, but it was good. How are you looking forward to? I just did about 5 or 6 laps on Mosport, with the line, because it's going to take me a while to get used to it. So it probably won't be very good for me. By the way, that Sonoma setup is actually really good.
Yeah, we might. I still haven't even purchased the track. It's been a busy week. I do plan on getting a crap ton of practice in this weekend if everything goes to plan. But if anything, we can just do like what we did with the truck. We can leave the Sonoma set and maybe just change the gearing on it a little bit to help it from. I'll drive it like I said. And
I know I'm not very good, but I didn't peg out on the straight in Sonoma. But that's because not very good in that car either. I'm sure somebody else can, but if it is, it wouldn't be for very long. So you might not even have to touch it.
Yeah,
Since everybody's
I'll
been
see.
probably practicing anyway. But yeah, definitely check it out. But I think it'll be a fun track to do. It is different. A lot of blind corners.
Yeah, you
You
have to
definitely
really
have to
know-
get. Yeah, you definitely have to know the track.
Oh, Ray, yeah, you got to race next week. You have to. If not, you're
That's a
banned.
home track.
You're
Oh
banned.
we're all getting our passports coming up to see you, man.
Oh, let's go. I'm racing there this year, actually. So it'd be fun to do in the sim and then go on the track and actually race it as well. So
Nice.
You
How
think
long
you-
is that track? What is that, like a 2.5 mile or
I can look it up.
somewhere around
Um,
there?
give or take, I think it's just over 2.
Is it?
It's not that long. Like there's a lot longer.
They go
ones,
pretty
like,
quick. I
Two-
felt like those
Yeah.
laps were going pretty quick.
2.45 miles, so 2.5 miles.
Oh, 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
for about
sorry,
a
Ray.
1:30 lap time.
Sorry, Ray. 2.9 kilometers. I'm going to say it as awkward as possible just for
Oh man, yeah.
you.
Got me there.
Kilometers.
But okay. Well, you haven't had practice. Who else? Oh, nobody else in here is racing Xfinity. So, yeah, definitely. I didn't have the track either. I had to purchase it today, so I tried to do a few laps.
See, I knew we were going to be going to it, so I purchased it so I could do the broadcast for it. So, lucky me.
Lucky you.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I mean, I think like 2 really controversial finishes there in like real life NASCAR. I think both in the trucks. I know there was the one with, I want to say it was Cole Custer and, oh man, who was it? Oh my God. I got to look it up because it's going to kill me.
I remember that. What was that? 2 years ago?
It's been a while.
I think 5. That was the older gen truck that
Yeah.
one of them was the older gen truck. for
John
sure.
Hunter Nemechek. That's who it was. I
Yeah.
knew it. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen that finish, Sean.
Has it been 5 years already?
Put on the broadcast, Sean, on another monitor really quick, and I will very jankily show this. Well, it won't be jank. Let's do this, and then go back here. This is one of the craziest finishes at this track ever.
Neiman Custer hanging on.
In 5 years. Definitely hasn't been in the last 3. Do you have a timestamp from when that was, Bryce?
It says 2016. Did it say 16?
Wow.
Yeah,
Definitely not more than 5 years ago. Yeah, the old truck though.
Rocking and spinning, coming to the line.
Yeah, I remember this.
Who is it going to be?
I mean, that's just
Side by
crazy.
side through the grass.
And then they start fighting, and
John Hunter Nemechek
So, yeah.
wants the flag.
hopefully we don't repeat that on Monday. It'd be cool, but yeah,
Everybody just scatter and get the hell out of the way.
I mean, I would too if I had a 3,000-pound truck coming at me. I mean, they got to at least be doing 60 or 70, banging up against the wall like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. It's weird. I mean, I guess I kind of turn into Will. Like, I feel like every time we ask Will about a track, oh yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks. But road course racing, super speedway racing, hell, I don't care. I just want to race.
Well, we'll actually pick this one on the schedule, so that's
Yeah.
a surprise.
You just want to turn laps.
No pun
That's
intended.
it, baby.
So, how are you feeling about the playoffs coming? I'm excited to get to the playoffs to watch everybody battle since we, didn't get to do the Trucks A as well to watch. So this is the one with the playoffs with people getting knocked out. I'm kind of excited to watch.
Yeah.
Not like the round of 12 will be super exciting, but I think the round of 8 will for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I feel like we all kind of know what the possibility of happening is, but I mean, I know we're all going to go out there and fight like dogs and give it hell. And I mean, I know you've mentioned it a couple times. I mean, yeah, all it takes is one race, so we'll see what happens. But it's going to be fun.
Yep. We got Mosport, and then a longer race at Charlotte. Then we'll start Talladega for our first round of our playoff race there.
And I got that one circled.
No, not you.
Who, me? Who,
Who,
me?
Me?
No, what we need to do, man, we need to talk about that damn truck race at Texas, man. There was
we don't.
I saw there was a guy, man, I can't remember what his name is, but I think it's like the 25 or the 52. I can't remember. It's some ugly ass truck. and he had a pretty good chance at maybe winning, and then he just self-spun.
No, I didn't. I was in 8th. The self-spinning when you're in 8th isn't that big of a deal.
You had like some
It's
of the
not like
freshest tires though, no?
That was
think
the problem.
we all did.
Yeah,
That was
it
the problem.
right
Yeah.
after a caution.
Yep.
I did exactly what Dayhoff did on lap 2 or 1.
Yeah,
It's almost the exact same
yeah.
spot.
I was about to
Yep.
say, which
Yeah,
was really the
it's-
first corner.
Yep.
Those tires were real slick when you first get them on, and you have to be
Yeah.
really, really baby them. That's
I got stuck on the
Yeah.
outside before. The problem was I felt like I was losing pace the last 20 laps or so, and I know we only had like 15 left, so I was trying to push a little bit just to get a good run on that inside guy I had, I think, post.
Yeah, you had a great run until you didn't.
Yeah, then I just got loose, tried to save it.
had it
Chris-
saved.
Yeah. Then Chris knocked me straight,
Yeah, I was trying to knock
then
you in the right direction.
or Post did, and then I got loose again, and then Chris got me, and that got
Yeah.
me around,
I
and I
got-
locked
I
him
gotta
up, and
say-
then got demolished.
I gotta say, you got a hard on for Chris because you were trying to blame him for almost ruining your race at Dover, and then now, I mean, you got a hard on for him or something, man.
No, dude, he sabotaged me. Him and Mike, man. I know they're back there just scheming.
Me sabotage you?
Yes.
Really?
I can't help it if
Really?
you don't know how to brake.
I do know how to brake. You just brake when I didn't expect you to brake. Anyway, no, to go back what Bryce was saying earlier about, spinning in practice and trying to get too much. That's exactly how I was for Texas. Like, I just kept spinning that damn truck around and around. Like, I had no problems of 3 and 4, but I could not get one figured out. But once the race came, settled in, I have not been that pissed off in a race in a long time. Like those last 4 cautions we had, I had great long run speed. I could not restart to save my damn life. And Chris can attest on the radio and in our team
Yeah.
chat, every single time the caution came out, I was losing my mind.
Yeah, I think each
that's-
restart you were losing 1 to 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the long runs you were holding a really good pace on that track.
About
I
how
felt-
it was
I
at
felt the same
Gateway,
way.
because we couldn't get a long run. We couldn't get anything more than 10 laps at Gateway, and that killed me. And but yeah, exactly like Bryce said, I just did a full 160 lap race at Nashville Fairgrounds, and while we were practicing, I couldn't get 10 laps in without spinning out and hitting the wall. But I did that race against 35 AIs, and I didn't spin out once. So I guess when you
Nice.
just get in there around trucks, it's just a lot better. And
I think
Mike,
it's-
I was
think
really
it's-
surprised that you like start. Where'd you start? Like 15th, and then before I knew it, you were up to
14th,
like
yeah.
5th, man.
Yeah, I got up to third there for a minute, and then Patrick had beat me on the off pit road to end stage 2, and I was doing good, tracking up front. I was on Cornwell's ass for second, right? KT had just got around him, and I was trying to give KT a minute to make the pass and get cleared, and then Nava wanted to push the issue. So I was like, man, come on, let's just get it straightened out. And then once the caution started flying after that, I could not restart for nothing. But yeah, no, I ended up liking Texas. I was kind of dreading it going into it at first, but it started feeling comfortable. I think I just had a really good entry line for 3, and I could run on that side of the track. But 1 and 2, I was just average. But I needed it to stay green.
Yeah, a lot of
Right.
people were taking like a later entry into 3, and you were doing more of a early entry into it, and that's where you're picking up your pace there.
Mm-hmm.
It's less work on the tire though too. I mean, you got to think if this is the white line and your truck is all the way here, and you have to go from here to here versus here to here. If you can do it gradually, yeah, Texas, that track can burn in hell. I don't really care. But no, it is a very good like a racer's track. Like 1 and 2, you can take quite a few different lines and still be in the fight. 3 and 4, I think, is a little bit more one dimensional, but again, you can still make something work. And I was surprised. I think I even said it about Mike on the broadcast. I can't remember if it was in the broadcast or a conversation
It
after.
was.
But yeah, you had the long run speed, like you said. We just you never really had a chance to show it. And Sean and I were actually talking about this, I don't know, a couple days ago. That's the thing about like the truck series of where the state of the racing is at, is because it's like there's guys that are really, really quick on the short run, but have nothing for the long run. But we don't get a lot of long runs, so those guys are kind of benefiting from it. So it's like, if you are one of those long run drivers, do you make like the mental switch of like, hey, we're probably going to get a bunch of short runs. Do I just go for it? Or, you know, and to Sean's point, one of the longest green flag runs we had, which ironically was at Dover. Would have never guessed that. But
Right.
And you pretty much walked away with that, like after a certain point. And so you guys are all on the rookie trucks, or now just the trucks. I mean, what do you do in that situation? Like, do you maybe shift your focus a little bit and try to gain short run speed, or do you kind of stick to your guns, or what do you do?
Me personally, I've been trying to get better at the short runs. I'm more of the tire saver, longer run guys, and staying clean is my specialty. And then when that doesn't happen, then I'm just screwed. There goes. But I have got to work on my short run. I'm not a Eugene that can just fly for 10 laps, man.
Same.
I've never been great at that. But I've been trying to work on it this season.
Yeah, I definitely need to focus on that more. My strategy is just to swear a lot on the radio and hope for the best.
I respect it.
Yeah, and I agree with those guys. I mean, the state that the series is in currently, you kind of have to go with the short runs and bank on that. We just haven't had enough long runs to really think that's going to be a true strategy in one of the races.
I think a lot of things too. It's like going back to you guys practicing and spinning out and stuff like that. Like for me, when I'm getting ready for races, I'm pushing to the limit in like 4 different sections every single turn. I want to feel my car get loose. I want to feel whatever vehicle I'm driving get loose and spin out. So it's like when I get into that race position, it's like, oh, I've already encountered this before. I know how to counteract it here and there. I think if everyone greater scale did that in the truck series, we would have some amazing racecraft and some amazing green flag runs. Feel like everyone's just kind of pushing it a little too hard. Meanwhile, if you practiced it already before the race even happens, or even in the 30 minutes you have before the race even starts, that can set up a whole different ball game for long runs, short runs, and everything like that as well.
Well, seat time too. I think practice obviously is very important, but we have a lot of guys who are, I would say, quick, but there's not a lot of guys that can be quick while racing, if that makes sense. Like, there's so much that goes into racing. Like, I'll take myself and Will last season as an example. Him and I were able to race each other and still at times pull on the field. There's a lot of guys that I don't know if it's like a timidness or if it's just, inexperience, if you will, but there's a lot of guys that are fast on track, but when it comes down to making a pass or making the correct move at the correct time, that's where I feel like some of these guys in the trucks kind of, again, I don't know if it's a panic thing or what, but I mean, we've seen it. Even Mike, you said it, like, you're trying to be patient and wait for somebody to make a move on somebody else, but they're either not making the move or they can't make the move, but you can't make it because you're stuck behind them. But now you got a guy trying to make a move on you. So it's this big compounding issue of like, okay, we need to go and we're not going to go with you in front, but I know you're not going to let me by. Like, it's tricky because it's almost like, it's like a 1v20, right? Because like if you're in fourth, okay, and if you're in fourth and you're faster than the guy in first, you still have to get around 2 other people to even get to him. And by the time you get to him, any advantage that you have is more than likely gone. So it's like, okay, I need to get around this guy, but I can't use my stuff up too much because if I get around, then so I think there's a lot of
a balancing act. It's a balancing act. You have to be really balanced.
As Bryce was saying about seat time, really, I mean, I had on my 3 best races, I mean, Gateway, I just love that track. It's one of my favorite tracks. I got second. Dover, I won, but I also had a whole race I was able to race. So I got a whole race in on Trucks A advantage, for getting the practice in. Kansas Road, I got second. Not a road guy, but I put in a crap ton of time on Kansas Road. And, those are my 2 best finishes. So seat time goes a long way for sure.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just thinking about like from my past experience in other leagues and for this league too, it's like I'm dedicated and I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting that chip at the end of the year, right? I'm not afraid to put 1,000 laps up on a race. Like I think for NIS, because I know we're in week 3 now of the NIS series for iRacing and whatnot. I think I did 6 Daytona 500s just to learn the drafting track and whatnot, like the new drafting package we have, the open sets, the fixed sets, to learn the braking. Like, I feel like I'm pretty prepared for this race coming up the next week. So, like, just that alone is a massive advantage, and it may not seem like it too, because you have other people who can qualify first and then come to the actual drafting packs or where to push. Or if I hear anybody complaining about 4 deep pushing, I'm going to be up on the radio. I can promise that. But there's
those super speedways. I do enjoy them, but my God, those first 180 laps are so boring. I can't.
It definitely is. All you're doing is drafting. I mean, like, you're just staying in line. You're trying to make sure you have good pit cycles. You're hoping for a green flag stop and you get away from the pack. And then if you have 5 or 6 cars with you and you're 10 seconds ahead, you just want to keep pushing hard to keep that gap going. And hopefully the guy in front and the guy pushing them is a really good pair, because you can keep that together, and the pack behind you is behind you, and that's in your rearview mirror, and you don't got to worry about it. So.
No, yeah, I think I ran 2 Daytona 500s. I ran one in open and one in fixed. The open one I actually did pretty well. I think I ended up finishing in 7th or 8th. I was surprised. I just grabbed a set off of McConey and just saw what I could do with it. Did all right with it. Went into the fixed one, and I was like, all right, I'm taking this one. I've already done one. This one, I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to push harder. I'm going to see what I can do in this fixed race. I ended up at the front for most of the race until a lap car and the low line squoze too tight, and I had nowhere to go, and then it just caused a chain reaction wreck. But
yeah,
overall, I learned a lot about myself and what I was capable of on the drafting tracks in the Cup car. So I mean, honestly, if you can learn that, you're in great position.
And like when I was doing too, because I did my splits Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and I did the 5 a.m. on Saturday as well. Like, especially the 5 a.m. ones, like the earlier splits, I tend to try to do something that I wouldn't normally do, like the last one for the weekend type of thing. So like that 5 a.m. one, I was like, oh, we're too wide. They have a gap in the middle. I'm shooting down the middle. Who's gonna come with me? Let's see how close we can actually get. You know what I mean? Like, I want to put myself in an uncomfortable position. And like, you can't really do that in a practice race, like when you're practicing by yourself on the track, you can run your line all you want, but like, even for Texas, getting a bunch of AIs and running that, or Sonoma, or not Sonoma, running Mosport. I want to have AI. I want to be on the outside making passes. I'm putting myself into every situation that's not for myself, but more to learn the car and then to react to it when it comes down to race day. And I feel like that helps. I don't know. Everyone learns differently, right? There's a lot of people that drive different. Everyone's got different racecraft, but it definitely, doing a little extra, results will come eventually down the road. And I think even Bryce can attest to that too, because I know he's been putting in a lot of work as well. So.
A lot of people hate running with AI, but I enjoy it just for the fact that you just said, like, I just did fairgrounds with AI because I have to pass on the outside and the inside and see what it feels like and get in some dirty air. And
you can't pay me to race with AI. Sorry, not gonna happen.
I know, but listen, they're even more dickheads than you. Like,
right? I 100% agree. I've created an AI season to mimic our truck season. Exact same laps, time, set it all up that way. And Friday nights or Saturday nights, I'm going to run it full on. And hell, I've even screwed them up before, and I've got a redo of the exact same schedule. So if I need to go back and put some extra laps in, I do it. So every race that we run in the trucks, I've already ran as well in AI, plus our team practice as well. And I felt that's helped me in my racecraft put together a whole race. If I could just avoid some issues here and there, we'll see if we can put it all together.
Like the Nashville that's coming up, it's a short track, so the AI, it at least gives you traffic to deal with.
Yep. It wasn't. Yep. It was pretty fun to practice that, and I learned a lot of stuff from that. Bryce, Ray, what did y'all have a good broadcast? I mean, I watched the broadcast. It seems like it went well. I mean, was the racing up to y'all's standards?
Honestly, for me, just trying to keep up with all the action. Like, I think Bryce was watching the front, I was watching the back, and I'm I'm looking at truck schemes and I'm trying to learn names and I'm like, these guys are battling, they're battling over here, and they're 3 wide out of that turn, and I didn't even notice that. And it's like there was just so much action going on in that race, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing being up in the booth with Bryce and with our race control as well, because I mean, you got to thank the race control every single week, right? It wouldn't be for you guys that we wouldn't have these amazing calls and fair competitiveness throughout all the drivers out there, right? So it's like having that connection and trouble. It was definitely a lot of fun, and I'm accepted back up there in the broadcast booth because that was, man, I loved it, every single second of it.
I thought you did great, man.
We'll see, brother. We'll
like
see.
you're having fun.
We'll see. No, it was fun. I gotta say, like, it's funny because Ray's kind of feeling like I would help out Ray with the other league sometime for their truck series, and it's like it's so different. If you guys would have told me that with 35 to 40 cars on track every week, I would remember numbers and schemes and this.
Right.
It's crazy, but like it's so cool that you can broadcast for a couple weeks, and like Ray said, you learn names, you learn paint schemes, you kind of know, like, dude, it's almost weird because like in a weird way it's like I can kind of see the future, like, oh hey, this guy's around this guy, but it was fun to watch. Like Ray said, I think we all sometimes, like, we want to see ourselves on the broadcast, like we want to see that one random pass we made on some random ass lap in the middle of the race that was like in our mind.
Hell yeah, I get so mad at you.
But no, it's like I have a little bit more respect for like some of the broadcasters and stuff. Like, it's different in real life because they obviously have all the equipment in the world. But like Ray said, I mean, especially we've got 30 something cars on track. There's no way to catch everything, and especially when I got one camera and I'm watching the guys in like first through fifth are all under a blanket, and then you see guys come out of turn 2 and they're 4 or 5 wide. And it's like, okay, wait a minute, like, let's back it up here. But it was fun to watch. Like, I don't know how it feels on track, but from a broadcasting standpoint, I definitely feel like the quality of racing has improved. Obviously, I think we all know that there's still a long way to go, which is going to happen naturally, but it's been fun to watch. I mean, those first couple races were kind of brutal up in the booth, and I'm sure even on track, but it's getting there, and we are seeing racecraft start to develop. We are seeing, like, I think we're seeing a little bit more of that spread of, like, okay, you've got this upper echelon of drivers, and you got, like, these guys, and then you got maybe some guys that are, lower, but there's also guys that have maybe started here and here. It's like there's a lot of parity throughout the field, and it's been fun to watch, like, everything develop.
There's been a big shift. There's been a big shift, I think, ever since the Kansas road course. I feel like that's when it started to get a lot better.
I agree with that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything better in this league about parity. I mean, we are 9 races in with 8 different winners. I mean, I think 6 was my guess, and that was on the high side for how many winners we were going to have.
Yeah, I think that's what you guys were talking about at the beginning of the season on the podcast. It was right around 6.
Yeah, I had no idea. But then you have guys like, Patrick show up that we didn't know anything about. Of course, he hadn't won one yet, but I think he's going to.
He's been close, though. Yeah.
Just finished second last week.
But we really didn't know Meacham. He won. You have Hawk that came in and won that special race for him. Who else has won? Of course, we didn't know. Again, we didn't. There's just people that still haven't won that are going to win. I had a list going, but
KT with the
Mike
big win this past week.
Chris, Nava, Grady. All those guys are still. I still think we're going to have probably 2 or 3 different winners, or at least a possibility of it. There's a lot of quick guys that don't have a win yet.
It's just.
I wanted to say.
Go ahead, Ray.
Oh, I just wanted to say too, like, getting back to, like, the different groups that we're seeing on track as well. Everyone's getting really comfortable with each other. They're racing the same people every single week. You know what I mean? So it's like that racecraft is evolving, but at the same time, it's the comfortability. It's like when I first started racing Bryce, I knew right away Bryce can hold a line. I'm on his door. I'm planted. But for someone who's, like, newer to a league, the first time league racing and stuff like that, don't want to be penalized by the penalty system we have here. You want to keep it clean. It takes a little bit to work up to racing door to door. You don't know when netcode's going to hit or whatever it may be, right? So like now I think, going into our 10th race and you see those people kind of pushing the edge a little bit of how close they can get to the cars. It just one produces a better race for all the fans, but at the same time, like as a competitor, if I got two people on my sides and they're like almost dooring me down the front backstretch or front stretch, and we got to make turn one together, and we're 3 wide, like as a racer, that fuels me. I'm like, oh, I love this. This is great.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have Talladega coming up in our first race of the chase here in about 3 weeks. So we'll definitely tell how far we have come from Daytona to Talladega.
Some breaking news here. The broadcast is actually going to be done from the in-car camera of myself in that race. I will be participating. So it'll be a live in-car broadcast. But no, yeah, it's like to Ray's point. I mean, you do get a level of comfortability. I think we all have our own individual ideas of, hey, I trust this guy, or hey, get me way the hell away from this guy. We all have we've all been righted or wronged by somebody on track at some point, and that has allowed us to find a way basically of like, hey, I know I can race this guy hard, and I know I need to maybe take it down a notch. It's cool to see that play out in the truck series as it has. Like, I think what I was going to say before Ray, was mentioning what he was talking about. I think we would have, well, I guess I can't say we'd have even more winners because it's not like we can just spawn more races out of thin air, but I think we would have some different winners if some guys, like you mentioned Grady, you mentioned some of these other guys who they're quick, they're relatively clean, they just can't get themselves out of trouble. And it's some, some people are having issues with that, but that just, again, it's another thing of, how can you put a race together? How can you make sure that you're there in the best possible spot at the end? So,
well, now you got like Camburn, which I really believe he's probably the next winner of a guy that hasn't won. I think Camburn is, because he has been quick. He's been up there every week. But now you have to compete against those other guys that's already won a race, and they're all good. And most of them are probably going to be up there each week. So it makes that front battling.
I see you smirking down there. I know what you're looking at now.
Oh, I've been looking. I peeked over there and I saw it. I know who that is.
Oh man, but yeah, it's like.
Can you pull up the chase points, chase outlook, because it is some good battling all throughout.
I will pull up the actual standings.
That'll be fine too.
Let me get OBS up. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's just like it's cool to see everything play out. We had an idea of what we thought was going to happen, but you don't ever really know until it's crunch time and it's game time. And I mean, yeah, I think, Sean, like you said, we thought maybe 6 different winners by the end of the season, and we still have just over half of our season left, and we've already had 6 winners. And again, it's a testament of, being comfortable and just making moves, man. Like there does come a fine line where even if you're racing around somebody that you're maybe not the most comfortable around, at the end of the day, 2, 3, 4 laps to go, you got to go. It doesn't matter who it is, right? So we're seeing that play out, and we're seeing some guys get caught up in that, and we're seeing some guys that are maybe a little bit too timid with that. But a lot of season left for a lot of things to happen. And speaking of things to happen, this points breakdown here. I mean, Sean, first and foremost, what a choke out of you.
Well, I'm glad he choked too.
But no, yeah,
he would have been 15 points above me if he didn't jump the start.
I will say, like, looking at these names, like, again, I don't want this to come off a certain way, but I'm like surprised at the gap that you guys have. Like, I know it's like only 37 points, but I mean, that's still, I mean, yeah, sure, somebody has one hell of a race, but that's at least like 2 races of like solid finishes to even get in the conversation.
Yeah, for me, not to sound cocky or anything, but I feel like with just 3 races left, I feel like it's just kind of between me and Cornwell for the season championship. I mean, 30 points is pretty hard when you only get a point per position. But it's not, I mean, he could. I mean, we could both crap the bed. But just all throughout there with, I think Tucker's missing this week. I think Travis George has to miss this week.
Yep, they both are.
Bobby Grady's missing this week, so his chances are probably done.
Well, he's probably done anyways because he missed the first two anyway.
Right, but he's at 208 points. He had a chance, an outside
Yeah,
chance.
he was
and
he was 32 off of the cut line right now going into the race
Yeah.
this week. So
But now with Bryce Tucker missing, Travis George missing, Mike, you missed, and that brought you.
I did. I dropped 6 damn spots when I
6 spots.
Yep.
Yeah,
missed last week.
out of the cut line last week, I believe. Right?
Yeah, I was in 13th before Texas. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean that's a product of the size of the field that we are getting each
Yep.
week. Like provisional, I mean you're looking at 6 points, maybe 10 max. So yeah, you're gonna look at dropping 5 to 6 spots on the standings.
yeah, you cannot miss a race. I mean, even like
Right.
back on the Kansas Road week, we talked about this a little bit last week. I'm pretty sure. Even the Kansas Road week, we had a few people take provisionals, but it still, I mean, you lose a lot just by giving up not racing. I mean, you could finish in 10, 15 spots ahead of where you would have normally finished if you'd taken the provisional. So you gotta making the race is super important. I know, like we said, we know real life stuff happens, but yeah.
Well,
it's
Matthew,
important.
where did you finish in Kansas Road?
17th, and
you probably
was
got
perfectly fine
about
with that.
20 points or so out
Yeah.
of that, probably, and you would have got 6. You'd be 15 points down now. You would be
almost out of it. I'd be at the cut line pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, because at
so-
Kansas at the road course we had 30 trucks.
So
Which
it would
is
have
still
been.
a hell of a
Smallest field.
It's still a good turnout. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
But
our
like I
smallest
said,
field we've had all season.
And you kind of had to make the race even if you didn't think you were going to perform well. I mean, the war of attrition was real. There were a lot of people spinning on that track. It was
Yeah.
basically just avoid the stuff and just do as best as you can. And for me, I'm
It
not a
is-
road racer, and I set a goal for myself which was top 20. I finished in 17th. I was more than happy with it.
It is different. Last season, we'd have 15 or 20 show up, right? A provisional, not so bad. That's going to keep you in it. But 35,
Right.
40 people showing up each
Yeah.
week, man. A provisional ain't worth 6 points when the winner's getting 40.
Yeah.
That's a huge
So
swing.
I mean, with that
Mhm.
being said, and how close the points are right around that cut line, I mean, we've got Nashville this weekend, which short track is going to be somewhat of a wild card, seeing how everybody performs, and then going right into the Roval after that. So
Oh, you don't have to sugarcoat it. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be an absolute demolition derby out there, dude. But no, I will say, like, I mean, it's local track to all of us as well. I used to go there as a kid all the time, but I had never purchased it until I helped Sean with that set, and I was surprised. Like, you do get a lot of like a false confidence at that track. Like 3 and 4, I got to a point where I was like pretty comfortable. Like, okay, I can damn near mash the gas as hard as I want and I'll be okay. As soon as I started to get comfortable in 1 and 2, the track was like, no. And
Dude, those bumps are crazy down there, man. That can upset your truck real quick. So
turn two's got a
Yeah.
crater.
yeah,
it does.
everybody just get some laps in, and we'll be all right. Qualifying's going to be pretty important. Track position's going to be pretty
For
important.
sure.
So,
Yeah, and I know it's a sensitive subject, so I don't want to get on it, but I felt the truck didn't bottom out nearly as much until this new setup. So it took some getting used to in the team practice last night. So I'm really interested to see how it goes in that major, like Chris said, the crater in 1 and 2, because man, you hit it just a slight bit low. That's not a good time.
Nope,
Yeah.
Nope, it is not. But I'm excited to see this playing out. We have the short track, we have a Roval, then we have Charlotte, and a very long race for the trucks. It'll be our longest race
Yeah.
of the season at 150 laps with an extra stage in there. So,
I'm looking forward to that one.
yeah, it'll be different. Like with me with Randy, it's a crapshoot this week. But I know if I lose a lot of ground, he's not a road racer, so maybe I'll get him back, and then it may come down to Charlotte between me and him, or Bloodworth, or whoever. And I think a lot of these guys are going to get in at the last minute of the cut
Well,
line.
if the Roval goes poorly for me, I'm just going to blame Bryce.
Yeah. I've
Yep,
been the
it's,
scapegoat here for a lot of things recently, so I'll take another one.
So I'm going to give
Alright.
this guy a go. I got that brake kit you had talked about, which at first I was like, oh my God, I can't stop this damn truck.
Was
much
that,
different.
was that the wheel that you? Oh, I don't have my camera on. I'm doing air quotes. Accidentally ordered.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, okay.
All I'm
Oh, that
saying, all I'm saying is one thing and one thing only. I've won more oval races with this wheel than I've won with my other wheel. I've won super speedways with that wheel. I've won short tracks. I've won road courses, and I'm running a super speedway on that wheel tonight. So,
And the things
Really?
I get has been none.
hey, it was a fair purchase. It was
Mom's
it was
Yeah,
border.
yours was a surprise.
It was a borderline donation because you gave me a hell of a deal. So thank you. But that wheel right there has, now I will say that wheel has helped me a lot, but it's also cost me in some situations because I don't know if you've ever tried to drift with 50% of a wheel, but it's not fun. But I made it happen.
Nice.
I wouldn't even
Always.
call that 50% of a wheel. Well, I guess, yeah. But
But all in all, it's gonna be a pretty exciting week. I'm excited to, for the most part, see those Xfinity cars go around. Then Sunday to see how this goes. Maybe we'll be surprised because we've been on an upward trend on green flag runs a little bit.
Well, I'll
So-
say if we get a 10-lap green flag run, I will be surprised.
Here's the thing: you can only screw up twice because that thing slams you to the inside wall.
It
And
is
it's a
unforgiving.
meatball every time, so you can only
Yeah.
screw up twice before you're out of the race anyway.
Well,
So-
and I noticed last night in practice, I was telling the guys I barely grazed the wall coming out of 4, gave me wheel damage, and it didn't even upset the truck. But
Yeah. So yeah, if somebody's really bad at the track, they won't be there long. So, not to mention,
No
we
safe-
might have
no
to
safe
qualify
familiar.
in. So, and if
Wouldn't
we have
that
to
be something?
qualify in,
I know I was trying to drum up interest to get into that type of scenario.
anybody can be out. I can screw up a hot lap just as quick as anybody. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I was gonna say really quick, who's broadcasting tonight officially? I never really.
Will and Gay's running race control, and we got Moser and Chase up there broadcasting.
Gotcha. Well, what I was gonna say, if you guys want to, up to you. Me and Ray are gonna go in there and start turning some laps. No pun intended. If you guys want to give it a quick 5-minute intermission and kind of do a little bit of a pre-show, if you guys still have time before we go, I'm cool with it. But I definitely want to get out there. So it's up to you guys, obviously. But if you guys want to shoot the shit a little bit longer before, we still obviously have.
I'm good personally. I gotta hop in too. So
Hey, we can wrap it up, bud, and let you guys get to it.
I want to go real left, real fast right now.
let's do it.
Hells yeah.
Well, as long as you don't go real left into the infield wall, that's all that matters.
It's gonna happen, I'm sure, at some point. But nonetheless, we'll be good. It'll be fun.
Yeah, good luck to all you guys racing tonight. It'll be exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Man, anybody that takes Bryce out, I'll donate $5 to you.
10-4. Well, hey, the good thing is this is just a duel. Mike is trying to stay on the cut line. So if anybody wants to take him out in multiple races, I'll offer another deal up as well.
Hang up.
Wait, how much we talking about now? Wait.
It depends on how hard you hit it, how hard you wreck him.
Oh, okay.
If you meatball him twice and he's screwed,
Will's over.
Ray's
over there trying to calculate that exchange rate. He's gonna take down price.
I was like, Bryce lives like an hour and 15 minutes from me. I will find you.
I will find you. I know where you work.
Touche.
So all right.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
it's
fun,
been
guys.
enough.
Good
Yeah.
luck, everybody.
Next time I won't royally screw up the intro, and we will have we'll actually have a full episode, and we will be good to go. But this has been everybody over here. I'm looking forward to it. Daytona Duel tonight. Next Gen series is starting this week. The Daytona, I guess it'd be 250 technically next week. Looking forward to it. Good luck to you, Ray. Sean, you can go F yourself. Just kidding. But no, I'm looking forward to the call with Chase and Moser up in the booth. It's going to be fun. So thanks for another episode, and we will see you guys next week for some more coverage. Thanks for joining. Peace.
See ya.